one to avenge them. Me! I'm going to defeat you!
Hey everybody, it's Zarkator, and we're a little bit unceremonious right now. This is my desktop, but today we're going to be talking about a little game called Sonic Roboblast 2. Now, this is a very old Sonic fan game, if nobody's heard of it. I'm sure you have if you've clicked on this video, but today we are going to go over the general setup for the controls, as well as some modding, including the X Sonic mod that just came out that is super hype and super awesome and really makes the game that much better, and something fresh and new to play even in 2024. It's also got some crazy PvP gameplay, both in the base game, and the X Sonic mod adds really good shit to it. So let's get started here. First thing you're going to do is download the game. Just go to, sonicroboblast2.com or whatever and download. You can do the installer, or you can do the manual download, or you can patch it up from an older version. Doesn't matter. Just get the game. It's version 2.2 is the latest one where all your mods are going to be, updated, optimized for that version. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the game. And when you first start out, obviously I have a completed save file and everything with a bunch of data and files and everything. But the controls of this game are really fucked up, like really fucked up. And so we're going to go into the options, and I'm going to show you how to set them up for an actual human to play on both keyboard and controller. So the way this is going to work is you have two players in local play, but there's also online functionality, which is great. And first thing, you want to make sure the controls per key is at 1, because if this is not at 1, what you're gonna get is, if you bind two things to a single button, it'll just do both of those things. And there are some cases where if you just hold the button, it'll spam one thing over and over, and it's not gonna work too well. I'm sure there are use cases for it, with especially with keyboard controls, but if you want to use a controller, for sure, make sure this says 1. So we're gonna go into player 1, and so control configuration obviously is for keyboard, and then there's mouse options and gamepad options. So if you want to use a controller, let's go into the gamepad options. So this is what's going to be really fucked up, is setting all this up. This is the hardest part of getting this game to be enjoyable. It took me a long time to figure it all out. But first thing you're going to do is select the gamepad. It'll show up with whatever controllers you have plugged into your computer right now. If they aren't showing up, what I can recommend is, let's see if this shows up. This doesn't show up on the capture. There's a program called DS4 Windows. I'll leave a link to it in the description, where it will pick up any HID input device on your computer and sort of reprogram it or redesign it, something like that, to trick your computer into thinking it's like a PS4 controller, which will definitely work for this. Right now, what I'm using is just a wired generic Xbox 360 controller, so that's what I'm going to choose. I also have a Nintendo Switch Pro controller plugged in, so I can put that on player 2 if I wanted to. And if you want to switch them, what you got to do is put one to none, right? And then switch over to player 2, make it the Xbox 360, then switch back to player 1 and make that the Switch Pro controller. For example, just you can't have two controllers on the same player. Anyway, so once that's set up, basically you're just going to look through this list of all these controls and just set them how I have them. These controls are a lot different than what the game gives you default out of the box, and it really sucks to play with the default configuration. I don't know why it's designed that way, but this is how we should have it. This also includes all the settings I have here are optimized for the X-Sonic mod. I imagine if there are other mods that have different controls that you want to try out, you can customize these as you see fit. But the main thing are these camera controls right at the top here. So just make them exactly this. Make sure this says X minus rudder X minus, you know, and, rather than like X rudder normal, like this one, you know. It's really, there's a lot of options. None of them are good except for these ones. And I don't know how to, you know, break it to you, but just copy all these, okay? Just copy all these. The fire axis, this is there's a first person shooter kind of game mode where you shoot rings as like a PvP mode. So this is only important for that if you ever want to play that, but also the X-Sonic mod includes a taunt button, and the taunt button is this button. So make sure it's just set to something, and then we're going to go into the keyboard controls to change this Z rudder button to a button on your controller or keyboard, depending on, you know, whatever you want to set up. So that's the only thing that matters there. Make sure these are both on here. So, I mean, you don't have to use first person vertical look, but the third person vertical look will just allow you to move the camera up and down and have full camera control, and that's pretty important. I mean, the game was sort of designed, like the base game was designed with that not existing, so it's like you could play the game without this, but especially if you're going to be downloading any stage mods or, you know, anything, or if you just want the game to feel good, you definitely want to turn this one on. Dead zones don't really matter. It depends on if maybe your controller has stick drift. You can turn these up a little bit. These are just default for me. So at that point, your camera is set up. We can also go into camera options and just same thing here, just copy what I have. These settings are less important because they are more to taste, like the camera distance and everything. I like to have this pretty high, actually. This is actually the default value. I forgot to turn it up. Turn it up to like 350 is where I usually like it. Camera height, same thing. It's all just, you know, your preference. These are the settings that I have. The lock on button is going to be important for the PvP, any PvP mode in the game that requires you to fight other players, but especially the X-Sonic mod that we're going to be looking at in a second here. You can turn it to hold or toggle, like Dark Souls, you know, whatever you want to do there. Doesn't matter. Sideways movement, turn, you know, because otherwise you're going to strafe. Turn is definitely better if you want to actually move around like Sonic. You know, targeting assist is how hard the camera is going to stay on things, or like what it stays on, what you can target. So I like to keep that on full just because I'm only going to be using the target when I'm fighting a boss or other player. So full is fine. And then crosshair, you know, whatever you want it to look like, that doesn't matter. And that's it there. So automatic braking, I like to keep this off. So by default, this is on. And what it means is just whenever you let go of the left stick and stop moving, Sonic will automatically like press a brake button that is in the code. There is no actual brake button as far as I can tell. So the way to actually brake in game, if you have this off, is to just hold back like the, you know, opposite direction of where you're running. So you can do that if you want. You can turn it on if you want, but you're going to have way harder deceleration in a lot of cases, and it might mess you up in game. So that's up to you. Play style. So this is also going to depend on what mods you're using, what stages you're playing. Automatic is going to work for everything, but there is also the manual and the strafe. So you can read what these do, but the manual just makes it so when you turn, the camera does not move. You only move the camera when you move the right stick. And the strafe is the same way except for turning, but it's not going to move any other, like you're going to be facing forward. The character is going to be facing forward towards away from the camera at all times. Automatic is just when you turn the character, the camera stays behind them unless you're standing still or unless you manually move it yourself. And there is also a center camera button that we're going to be setting up here. That's very important. That's really going to be helpful with the X-Sonic mod when you're moving so fast, darting left and right, turning around, at a moment's notice, you really want a reset camera button. So here we are. Moving is, we already bound this in the gamepad options, so you can just put your keyboard controls here. WASD is the standard, you know, but honestly do whatever you want with this, whatever feels good on your keyboard with your hands, depending on what other games you've played. I don't care. Jump and spin. So this is if you have your controller set up like I have already, you're going to be able to press buttons in this menu, in this keyboard menu, to bind it to your controller. And it's super weird, and I know this is weird. This is why I had to make a video on this. So jump, put it on a button. Mine is on A, which is joy 1, and then spin is going to be your generally your spin dash button for the main characters, or modded characters are going to have generally a special move on this button. So I put that on X, which is joy 3 for me here. Doesn't matter what yours says, just press the right button and I'm sure it'll work. You know, camera, same thing. We already set that up in the controller options, so we don't need to put our controller buttons on this at all. Center view, that's the center camera button I just mentioned. Make sure that is on something. I have it on right stick click, just like, you know, a classic any other camera based game would do. But again, you can do whatever you want. I'm just telling you what these are and what's important and what's not. So leave these ones blank, because toggle mouse look is if you're using a mouse to look in the first place, you can turn it on or off. And generally, if you're going to be using a mouse to look around, you don't want to turn it off. And if you're not using a mouse to look around, you don't want to turn it on. So just leave this blank. And whenever you hot swap your controls, it'll figure itself out. This reset camera only resets it vertically, and that's why the center view button is better, because it actually centers it behind you. And vertically, you know, people usually don't have trouble unless you're very new to video games. I recommend just leaving this one blank. Meta game status right here. So this just opens a small little menu, like an overlay HUD mid-level, where it'll show you how many Chaos Emeralds you have, how many emblems, which are like, you know, like Sonic Adventure emblems. Whenever you finish a stage or do a special thing, you get emblems, and at certain emblem thresholds, you unlock secret stuff. I already have all of them, so I've left this blank. But if you'd like to check these things mid-game, bind that to whatever button you want. You know, just probably something on your keyboard, because I don't imagine you need a button for that on your controller. So next is pause, run, retry. Obviously, if you want to use that, go ahead. I put mine on P just because I don't need it on my controller. If I want to reset a run, I'll just lift my hand off my controller and press P on my keyboard right in front of me. That's fine. There's a screenshot button. There's a GIF recording button, which is really cool and really useful if you're going to be participating in the forums at all. You can just post a GIF instead of, like, you know, a YouTube link and all that complicated stuff. You can just shove a GIF right in there, and it's great. The menu button, now this is always on escape. You cannot unbind that, so nothing else goes on escape except for the menu button, but then you can also bind it to something else. So I put it on the pause button on my controller, obviously. So next, in previous viewpoint during PvP, there's respawn timers. So while you're waiting in the respawn timers, you can check other players and spectate other players, you know. I don't use this at all, because any PvP that I play in this game is going to be the X Sonic mod that we're going to get to. And generally it's just 1v1, but even if it isn't, it's like, I don't care to spectate while I'm respawning in any game, really. The console button, so there's, you know, console commands and dev commands that you can type in. You can look them up and find out what they do. There is one that we're going to use in this video that is semi-important. Whoops, Futures Arcade here. I actually forgot to mention the console command that we're going to be using, so I'll show you right now. You can skip to after the control section, but I just wanted to put this right here. So we bound the command console to tilde on my keyboard. So the thing we're going to do is you're just going to type in SST space ON, all caps. What that's going to do is turn on the PvP in the arena stages. So if that's not working for you, that's the solution. Turn that on. You have to be in a stage for it to work. You can't just do it in the main menu. I don't know why, but do that. And back to the video, sorry. So bind it to something. Mine is just on my tilde here on my keyboard, so we're going to use that. Multiplayer, there is talk functionality, so you can set that up however you want. I haven't used it myself. I just use Discord instead because I'm not just going to join a random lobby and start talking in game. You know, that's just weird these days. I don't know. But anyway, down here, so fire is, again, in that first-person shooter mode I mentioned, and also there's other alternate, like, third-person modes where you throw rings. So fire is how you throw rings, and you can bind that if you want to play those game modes. I don't play those game modes, and I don't have enough buttons on my controller to find a place for that, so I just leave it blank. Fire normal is, so in these game modes where you shoot rings, there's a bunch of different kinds of rings that do different things, and it's cool, but we're not going to look at that today. But the fire normal button is the taunt button for the X Sonic mod. So bind that to something. I put mine on left stick click, which is Joy 7, and so I can click the left stick and start taunting with X Sonic, and that's funny. You know what? It's either fire normal or toss flag. One of these is to change Supersonic's color, and the other one is to taunt. I can't remember off the top of my head which is which, but just bind both of these to a controller button, and you know, go into a level and mess with these options in a level and figure out which is which. I forgot personally. It doesn't matter. Just bind both of these to something. And then you have next weapon, previous weapon. This is how you scroll through those different types of rings I mentioned that doesn't matter. And these are all the different kinds of, you can use the numbers on your keyboard to scroll through all those different types of rings. It's a ring slinger mini game. It's kind of complicated, but all we need is toss flag and fire normal. Those are the important ones. And then add-ons. So many mods are going to have custom actions. Usually 3. If a mod comes with more than 3 custom actions, it'll add to this menu and add like a 4th, a 5th, however many it is. But most of them by default come with 3 custom actions. For, like, you know, X Sonic, for example, has 3 custom actions. So like the first one is he'll do the zip dash. The second one is the chaos blink, whatever it is. And the third one is to open the menu for the mod. So bind these to something. I've bound them all to my controller. It's like, I think this one's R1, this one's R2, and this one is Y. And then I don't have anything on B on my controller. I'm just, you know, don't really need anything on B at this point. Maybe reset camera, but not important. But that's your controls. Okay, so please, if you have any questions about these controls, I know how fucked up it is. Please let me know in the comments. I would be happy to help you. But moving on from that, we are now going to actually look at what we're looking at today, which is some mods. So I'm going to close the game first and foremost, actually. That's what happens when you close the game. Let's go back to my desktop here. Here we are. And so there's 3 mods to set up that are required, not required, but you know, compulsory to the X Sonic experience, minus any stages. So number 1 is X Sonic himself. You probably want to play as him if you want to play as him. So just come to this page. You can just look it up on the website, the SRB2 website, or just on Google. Just Google X Sonic SRB2. It'll be the first thing that comes up. And there's a download button right here in the corner. Just download that. It'll go on your desktop, and it's just a single file. It's like a .pde or pdk file or something like that. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. So we're going to have that on our desktop. And then a second mod that we want is called the X Pack, which is made by the same guy that was released at the same time, which comes with a tutorial level for X Sonic specifically, which is really cool. And I played it, and it's a lot of fun. And then it comes with some other stages. There's the Thorndike Mansion, which is not really a level. It's more of like either a PvP arena if you want to do the PvP with this mod, or, you know, it's just a fun sandbox to run around, and it's got a bunch of little, you know, bonus things all around that you can find, and it's good time. Same thing here with Station X, or I guess it's supposed to be, yeah, Sonic X's Station Square. Bunch of little secrets hidden throughout this, but it's not a real level in the same way. And then we go to the arenas. So there's 2 arenas that's going to come with this mod. The standard Budokai arena and the Cell Games arena down here. So the reason these are in the game is because this X Sonic mod has PvP functionality, and it's fucking sick. It's fucking awesome. It's so good. It's so good. So we're going to set this up. So, you know, I explained too much here, but just download this also. And then an optional third mod that you would like is called the Super Colors Revamp right here. So this is a basic thing. Download it. You'll get the file on your desktop just like the other 2. And what this is going to do is one of those buttons I mentioned in the controls section. It's like toss flag or fire normal, whichever one it is. Just bind that to a key. It'll open up a little menu where you can choose a whole bunch of different colors for Supersonic. And this is compatible with the X Sonic mod. And it's also compatible with like most any mod that includes a character with a super form. So you can choose, like, there's like 100, there's like 200 different colors that you can choose from. And it's useful for this X Sonic mod specifically because in PvP, you can differentiate yourselves with colors. And that's cool. And they also just look sick. So I recommend having this. So once you've got all 3 of these mods downloaded right up here, you can close all that. They'll be right here. I don't have them because this is a very simple process by this point. What you're going to do is, if you have the game installed, I would hope you do by now, I'm just going to right click, open file location. Right here, this is the folder where the game is. There'll be some of these files up here, add-ons, download, whatever. There's 2 places that you can put these mods. In the add-ons folder, you will have mods that are basically just for your like your client, your game. They'll do nothing else. If you go online, they won't work. But if you go to the download folder, all of these mods that are in here will automatically share themselves between you and whoever you play online with. So the way it works is mods don't just activate automatically when the game launches, right? Like most other games. When we get back into the game in a second here, I'll show you how to activate them. And what's going to happen is whenever you play on a server online, you'll get an option to automatically download whatever mods your host that you're joining has, so that you can both have the same gameplay experience or whatever. And it's optional, but they'll all go right here. Otherwise, the add-ons folder will not do any of that. This will just be your mods that you don't want to share with anyone. Okay? If that makes sense. So I recommend going to the download one just to make it easier for other people who join you and you have the X Sonic mod, you have this all set up and you want somebody else to just jump right in. They just download the game, join your server, put your mods in this download folder, and then boom, they'll be able to download them right off the bat. You don't have to do any of the stuff we've just gone over in the last 20 minutes. So just drag the 3 files that you downloaded right in here. That's it. Close it, open the game. That's how you install mods in this game. Super easy. So here we go. Here's how we activate the mods. We're going to go to add-ons right here, and it'll open literally your file explorer in the game, which is pretty crazy. So like I said, here's the add-ons folder we just talked about. Here's the download folder we just talked about. I'll go into the download folder. I have a bunch of mods. Just activate the 3 you just downloaded, but I'm going to activate all of these just because I have some extra bonus ones. A lot of these are just cosmetic or different characters that I'm not going to show off in this video. So let's just turn them all on. It might lag for a second, especially the first time you activate them, just because it has to load the entire mod all at once when you activate it. But now they're all on. So with the X pack or the X adventure pack or whatever, once you progress in this game and have a lot of the emblems, you'll unlock the level select. So I'm going to do that just for the sake of this video here. These are the levels up here that come with the X pack mod. So there's that tutorial level for Sonic, there's the Thorndyke Mansion, the Station Square, the Cell Games, and the regular arena. And these are great. Let's go to Station Square, I guess, just to look around and see. So it's going to take you to character select. So these are the base game characters: Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, and then spoilers, but as you collect more emblems and progress through the game, you'll unlock Fang, Metal Sonic, and then we have our modded characters. This is Sonic Adventure 1 Sonic. We didn't download this. You can go download it from the website. Same process, super easy. Just download it, drop it in the folder. Your Shadow, and then here's what we downloaded. This is X Sonic. So he does the stuff, right? So we're gonna go in and play as him, and I'll give you a little skinny on what he does, just, you know, to get you set up here. So first things first, you move around with the stick. That's easy. If you followed along with how my controls are set up, your camera should be pretty functional. If not, you know, you can feel free to tweak whatever you want to your taste, but this is just how I have found to make this game play like it wasn't fucking made in 1995. So, A to jump, obviously. So this mod, specifically X Sonic, has a little bit of a longer jump squat than like most other characters, and that's just to be true to the anime, where whenever Sonic would jump in Sonic X, he would always, you know, do a little leap like that, and it looks cool. And so the way this works is, if you're in the air, instead of a normal jump dash or anything, you instead have this sort of little leap, and it doesn't give you very much distance. But as you saw right there, if you do it into an object or an enemy, it will bounce off of them, and this does damage to enemies, except there are enemies that are not damaged from jumping on them. So instead, what you can do is, during that jump animation, which is only like a few frames, like maybe 5 ticks or something, if you press the spin button, whatever you bound that to, for me it's the X button, you can press A and then X, or, you know, jump and then spin. You do a little kick, and that'll do damage to any enemy, any boss, as if it had no defenses. So it's a little bit OP, right? But like, we're not here for balance, are we? We're here for mods. And as you can hear, we've got a bunch of really cool voice lines and everything. But otherwise, here we go. So the spin button that I bound to X is I forget what they called it already, but it's a boost. So there's a little bit of a startup, and then you run real good. You run super good. And so you can let go of the button and Sonic will brake. And that's different from the automatic braking setting we made in the settings. So don't worry about that. It's just part of the mod. That's how this works. So you can brake, and you can redirect yourself with this little line that I'm shooting. You can redirect any direction with the left stick, and you can just press it again to zigzag all over the place. Gotta go fast. And that's where this center camera button that we bound earlier really comes in handy, because, oh, I gotta look over here now, you know? Oh, I'm turning around. You gotta press that center camera button. Very useful. So then we get the 3 custom actions that we set up. There's the first custom action, which is the same as the spin button for now, but that's gonna change as we do some spoiler things, such as Supersonic, etc. But there's the custom action 2, which in base form doesn't actually do anything, but again, as we transform, it will do something. There's the custom action 3, which is the menu. So as you can see, spoilers, there's Supersonic, there's Dark Sonic, and then there's the menu right here. So if you hold it, you have to hold it, and then you have to press the other buttons. So like options right here, if you press 2 of the custom buttons, one of them being 3, you'll get this options menu. So you've got a custom Sonic X HUD, which is really cool. You can turn it off or on. I don't care what you do with your life. I'm not your dad. It's super cool. And also, both HUDs, if this is on by default, every time you start a level, both HUDs will be in, like the base game HUD and the Sonic X HUD will both be on. So to fix that, just go into this menu, turn it off and back on, and that gets rid of that, as you can see. There you go. Then there's over 200 colors for base Sonic. I'm not going to show you all of them. I like the vanilla myself, just because I'm a basic bitch like that, I guess. So we're going to keep it like that, but feel free to scroll through all those, find one you like. Sonic voice, so you just turn the voice acting on or off. That's up to you. I really like Jason Griffith. He's the best Sonic voice actor of all time, so I'm going to keep that shit on. Tutorials, this is a bunch of like on-screen prompts for like how to do stuff that'll show up periodically throughout the base game. That's up to you again, doesn't matter if you turn it on or off. And the Ring Burst SFX, so there's another thing that you can do called the Ring Burst that I haven't shown off yet. But there's different sound effects for it. So there's the original, which is how it was in the sub version of the anime, the original version. And there's the 4Kids version, which is this noise. You know the noise. And this is the original. I prefer the original just because it's a little bit less silly, but whatever you want to do. Co-op PvP on. You're going to want to turn this on because we're going to be doing PvP. But you can turn it off if you're going to be doing like co-op races or something with a friend. Sure, that's whatever. Accessibility, so this mod has a lot of like screen shake and particle effects. You can turn those off a little bit if you want. I don't really care myself. And then this one, there's a stupid memory leak in this game that is not fixed as of recording. You can fix that with this mod. This mod just does that. I don't know why it's not a standalone thing. It's just part of this X Sonic mod. And also it doesn't save, as it says right here. Option is temporary, won't save. I don't know why it's temporary, won't save, but every time you load up the game, you should turn this on, because as the game progresses, there is a memory leak in the game where if you play it for more than, say, 2 hours, it'll just crash. So turn this on and that won't happen anymore. So an excellent reason to have this mod is just for this. I don't know, it's fucked up, I know, I don't know. But anyway, to save this, just hit your spin button, whatever it is. It'll save all those and exit. And then next time you load up the game, that memory leak one will turn itself off. It's dumb, I know, but, you know, it's better than having a memory leak, so go with that. So anyway, the other thing, I'm going to cheat in some rings here, just so I can show off the that ring charge, ring dash, whatever it was called. So if you do the boost button in the air, and you have to hold it for a second, Sonic will charge up that classic Sonic X thing where he does this, you know. And so the way this works is you can let go of the button as soon as it comes out, and now I'm just holding the left stick around, and it uses up a lot of rings, as you can see up in the top left. So you don't want to waste it on just like a short distance. You really want to use it to like get a huge skip in a level and stuff like that, unless you cheat in 10,000 rings like me. So the way to get out is you can press the spin button, or you can let go of the left stick and it'll just stop by itself. There's no way to stop. You're constantly going. And then also while you're going, you can hold the jump button to go up, and you can double tap it to go really up, but that uses more rings. And you can double tap the spin button to go down, which uses more rings. Same principle. So there you go. So a couple other bonus things here is while you're boosting, Sonic will slam into a wall, and he has a funny voice line. Watch this. Hold on. I gotta get him to say it. It's random. Come on. You won't say it. Did I turn the... Oops, spoilers. I did this.
Now I see why they tell you not to play with fire.
Spoilers. I hit the wrong button. Did I turn the voice off? No. He's not doing it. Well, maybe it's ring dependent. Maybe I had too many rings. He's not saying it. There's a funny line. You can try it for yourself. He says something funny when you slam into a wall sometimes. I'm gonna cheat those rings back in. Alright, so now it's time for those forms. I already spoiled one by accident. Dark Sonic. So the way this works is... how you unlock Dark Sonic is, well, first of all, you have to have Super Sonic, and the way you get that is through the Chaos Emeralds, which is the same as it is in the base game. You can look up how to get those. They're all just hidden in stages, and you gotta do the special stages to get them, just like a classic Sonic game. You can look up another tutorial on that. It takes maybe half hour to get it. And then once you have all the emblems in the game, you can always just enable the form like that in the cheats, and get all emeralds in the cheats. So if you play all the levels and do all the bonus content, you'll be able to skip the Chaos Emerald hunt. So that's up to you. Otherwise, to get Dark Super Sonic, or Dark Sonic, is a little bit different. So I'm just going to explain this. There's no need to show it off. It's a very simple process. Go into the first level as X Sonic, and anywhere that there's a special item, like a checkpoint, or the Chaos Medals, or the emblems that are floating around each stage, anywhere in those special areas, like right on top of those items that I mentioned, there will be, I'm pretty sure it's a 100% chance to spawn, but it's a random location every time you load into the level. There will be a crystal some big white glowing crystal, and it makes a little sound, like a, like a whirring sound that you'll be able to hear from the same room, maybe. And just go into the first level, find it, stand in it, and it'll give you a challenge. And the challenges are pretty simple. It's like, have 10 rings and a shield, or give me 2 of your lives, or have 25,000 score, or stuff like that. It's like usually a combination of 2 conditions like that. And once you've met those conditions, you just press the menu button to collect the Chaos Emerald. The crystal will turn into a Chaos Emerald. So once you get it, you can just leave the level. You don't have to finish it. Just go back to the title screen and then go back into the first level and just do that 7 times. And once you get the 7th one, you'll unlock Dark Sonic, and it costs 50 rings to turn into him. And this is what it is. It begins playing the Devil May Cry 4 Nero battle theme, which is sick as fuck. Everybody loves that. And he's a lot faster than the regular X Sonic, obviously, because he's super whatever. He has the negative energy of the Chaos Emeralds. His boost is even faster. And his jump now, instead of the stomp, is a dash. And you can actually do the dash infinitely as long as you're in the air. But it also still does the stomp on enemies. You can't do it on normal objects anymore, but you can do it to enemies. And there is a special combat system specifically for this form, which is sick as fuck, and I'm going to let you discover it on your own once you unlock this. Just go into a level and start beating up some enemies and spamming buttons, specifically the jump and spin buttons, and you'll do some crazy shit for real. But there's a bonus secret thing about this form, and that is that you can go Supersonic in Dark Sonic form. So the only way to do that in this sandbox level is to come over here. Amy will start hugging me, and if I hit her, sorry Amy, but if I hit her a few times, this is gonna take a minute, but I'll show you the first phase of it. Once she starts hugging me, you just jump at her, and eventually Sonic is going to start getting kind of pissed. And the way you do this in a normal level is just by hitting enemies. Hitting enemies is the same way to do this, but in this specific Station Square level, the only way to do it is to hit Amy, because she's the only thing here. But there you go. As you can see, my eyes are getting a little bit bloodshot. Sonic's getting kind of pissed off that his girlfriend keeps hugging him or something. And I'm going to fast forward to the point where this activates, because this is going to take like 2 minutes in this level, just because Amy is slow. In a real level, it takes maybe 30 seconds of beating up enemies. But this is going to progress, and we're going to fast forward to when it happens. Alright, so I think we're at phase 2, as you can tell by the big glow around Dark Sonic. And so another way to get points towards this bonus thing is by wall running, and I don't know why, but wall running around is going to continue this process of leveling up. You can always tell when your eyes get bloodshot around the the vignette of the screen. And so again, just because this level has no enemies, it's very difficult to actually get this to happen. I could have just gone to a different level, but it's fine. With the power of editing, this is not going to take as long for you. Alright, I think it's about to happen. Oh yeah! So that's Dark Supersonic. The fucking lyrics of the song come in, and look at this. Oh, it's so good. So, Dark Supersonic is a little bit different than regular Dark Sonic. First of all, he's even faster still, and his boost is insane, even faster, The super forms don't break for as long if you let go of the boost button. Their breaking time's like halved, I don't know why. But if you want to zigzag, you're going to have to press the button a little bit faster than in base form. So Dark Supersonic can jump a little bit higher, and his air dash is way longer than regular Dark Sonic. He can't fly like Supersonic can, but he can do this, like pretty much an infinite glide, like Knuckles almost. Another unique thing about him that not even Supersonic can do is he has an infinite wall run. So if you wall run by boosting and then jumping before you hit the wall, it'll go up infinitely, no matter what. There you go. And you can do all this, and you can still do the ring, whatever it is. Super cool. And then he's got the custom moves, right? So the three whatever they were, custom buttons that we set. The first one is always going to be your boost. The second one is going to be the Chaos Snap, which is not working for me right now. Hold on. Maybe Dark Sonic can't do it. Maybe Dark Supersonic can't do it. But he's super sick. And again, with the combat system, there's no enemies in this stage. But go play this guy in a stage. You're gonna know what I mean when I say this is sick as fuck, right? So for now,
I see why they tell you not to play with fire.
We're gonna revert back to base form. I'm gonna give myself some more rings. And now, instead of doing that whole convoluted process, we're just gonna do Supersonic instead. And the only reason I showed up Dark Sonic is because I accidentally spoiled it earlier. But here's Supersonic. So this one requires 100 rings instead of 50. Don't know why, but it's the easier one to get because you need to get it first before Dark Sonic anyway. So let's do it. Alright, so again, custom music for this one, and it also changes per stage, which is great. This is the sprite. This one can fly as opposed to Dark Sonic. Press the jump button to go up and the spin button to go down. Double tap to go faster, just like Budokai Tenkaichi. Then you have your boost. The zip dash is what it's called, now that I see it on the screen. And it's very fast, very fast. To stop flying, press the custom 3 button, the menu button. You just tap it to stop flying. And also, if you are flying, you can hold it. You can hold that menu button to just do this cool pose. I don't know why, because this is not the taunt button. This is just a cool pose you can choose to do. And you can go down while you're doing it, and you look like fucking Cell. And it's epic, right? So another thing Supersonic can do is his homing dash is that Chaos Snap, your custom 2 button, right? So if we go into fly mode, your custom 2 button is that Chaos Snap, and this is more like a dodge, but it also will target enemies and kind of flash step on them. And most enemies in this game only have 1 health, so this just shreds through levels. Look at how fast you can spam it, right? Otherwise, there's that dash, and then there's the third, if you press jump and spin at the same time. Supersonic has a special Kamehameha called Chaos Lambent. It costs 5 rings to shoot, but you can shoot it as many times as you want. It's only like a 3-second cooldown. Bam! It's so good. And this is so good for the PvP too. We're gonna get there. But you can also aim it up or down depending on if you press jump and spin, and then before it comes out you hold jump and spin again to shoot it up or down. So A to shoot it up, and then X to shoot it down, and then neither to shoot it forward. Isn't that super awesome? So Supersonic does, I don't believe he has the infinite wall run like Dark Sonic does. Maybe he does. Oh, maybe he does. But yeah, you can do that Chaos Snap to glide even better than Dark Sonic. Dark Sonic is definitely better for like boss fights, but in terms of PvP, Supersonic is better just because he can fly and he has infinite dodges and a Kamehameha. But Dark Sonic is definitely better for non-PvP because his I can't show it off in this level, but it's fucked up. I just don't want to spoil it because it's so good. It's like the coolest part of this mod. But anyway, that's Supersonic, right? Let's revert back again.
Is that the best you can do?
And there's custom voice lines for all of this and stuff. So one last thing I want to show off before we get to the PvP portion is that third mod we installed, the custom Supersonic colors. So we bound one of those keys to our controller. For me, it's the select button. Hold it for a second, and this menu will come up. So by default, Supersonic is gold, obviously. You can use the left stick to look through all these different buttons, colors. And there's several pages of them, as you can see. Some of them only have a few, like this one's got, let's see, several actually, more than I thought. But there's the extra plain ones, are just like kind of flat colors. There's the vanilla. So these are the over 200 base Sonic. No, it's not. This one, the pre-packed. Is this it? I think this is it. Yeah, there's several pages. There's over 200 normal Sonic colors, and they all get applied to Super Sonic. And then additionally, this mod adds a bunch of these other ones. My personal favorite is the, where is it? It's called Emperor. Oops, I missed it. Where'd it go? Emperor is my favorite one. So just press A or jump to apply it. And then go Supersonic, and you'll be Epic Red Supersonic. It's fucking sick. So this is really good for the PvP, especially if you have more than 2 players, to differentiate yourselves and look different and not get confused or whatever. So another really good one is, I think it's, yeah, Azure Breaker is the classic Hypersonic, but then there's also the transformation is kind of like the Hypersonic from Sonic, whatever that spin-off game was. I can't remember what it's called. There's a bunch of cool ones. There is the classic, like black and white sort of one, which is somewhere. There's so many of these colors. But yeah, silver. This is kind of how you expect Hypersonic to look if he was just white, you know? So this is a classic one too. And also the Kamehameha changes color with whatever skin you apply, which is insane. And so that's that. You do that little pose, go down like so. Another thing is, as Supersonic, I'm pretty sure only Supersonic does this, but if you fall from a great enough height, Sonic will go into a skydive, and then hit this sick fucking hero pose on the ground. All the forms can do the skydive, but Supersonic is the only one that I can get to do this pose for some reason. Sick as fuck. It doesn't actually do anything, but it is cool is the good news. Alright, one more thing here is the taunt button we set up. So I put mine on the left stick, so you press it and Sonic will go into taunt mode. So this is one taunt, and all 4 directions on the left stick are different taunts. So there's that, this one, and that one. And so you can press the custom button 2 to switch sides at any point. Then there's also one on the D-pad right is like a shrug. And then the face buttons, not the jump buttons, but the custom button 3 will make it fall over. You just turn it around like that. That's funny. And then L2, whatever, I don't know what button in the controls menu I have it bound to. You'll be able to see earlier on in the video. But L2 makes you do this. Hello, my honey. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime gal. And then you can jump out of it to stop taunting. But another special thing that most people don't even know about is if you're in taunt mode and you hold the spin button, Sonic will flash white. And then if you're still holding it, keep your thumb on it, keep your thumb on the spin button, and then press A, you'll start doing a spin dash. And you can charge it a little bit, and it's not very strong. It's in fact quite piddly and shitty, but it's something you can do. How about that? I don't know why it's such a complicated input, but the zit dash is just better in all respects, because this also automatically vaults over small things, like as you can see, and it also goes underneath, like, you know, spin dashable like little underpasses that you have to spin dash through. It does that automatically. I'm trying to get him to do this funny voice line that I was mentioning.
Thanks a lot, Wall.
There it is. He says thanks a lot, Wall. Alright, I spent too much time trying to find that. But anyway, on to the final thing is the PvP arenas. Let's go to level select and just go to the regular one. Alright, here we are in the Budokai arena. So in this arena, you automatically start with 9,000 rings and Supersonic unlocked. Dark Sonic is not unlocked by default in this stage, but if you have him unlocked from the base game, you'll be able to use him here. So again, there's no enemies here, but in PvP, there will be other players that you can hit to become Dark Supersonic much faster, and that's pretty cool. But Dark Supersonic can't fly, so he's not as good for PvP, obviously. Unless you both gentlemen agreement to both be Dark Sonic, then it'll be somewhat balanced, but again, the combat of this character is pretty crazy. Let me turn on my thing again. This guy. We'll revert a little bit.
Now I see why they tell you not to play with fire.
I'm gonna have to hack in some rings. Every time you detransform, you lose rings, all your rings. So let's go Supersonic here. And why not choose a color for ourselves? How about just classic white? Alright. This is the big stage. This is the regular Budokai stage. So you'll be able to host a server or join a server with other players and fucking play Budokai Tenkaichi as Supersonic in this game. And it's more in-depth than you think. I don't have any friends to invite to show you how it works right now, but it's sick as fuck, and I'm going to be the best in the world at it. Fight me. Like, literally, like, let's PvP. This game's fucking sick. Let's play it together. Anyway, so that's this stage. And you go out of the ring, and you can fight anywhere here. And it's a really good time to use your Kamehameha in PvP, right? It's fucking sick. It's so fucking sick. You can get out of free flight here. God, it's so good. Let's revert. And that's about it. At that point, other mods you might want to look at, you know, go ahead and just scroll through them all on the website. They're all there in the forums. And my god, this is so sick. This mod and this game by proxy is so sick. It's just a shame it's so complicated to set up, so that's why I made this fucking almost hour-long video, although some of it will be cut out. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please let me know down in the comments if you want to play. It's got full online functionality. You can just hop right into a server. And it's so good. It's so good. It's so great. Everybody loves this. So, again, thanks for watching. My name is Arcader, and I'll see you out on the star chart.